poison, weddings, and all hail the princess. We are all breaking it down for you right here on AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days, starting now.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, with the buzz.
You saw what I did there?
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days, where we give you a full dish of this week's episodes of the Emmy Award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I'm joined by my gaggle of gals.
Hey.
We have to my far left,
Michael Mattes.
and of course,
Hey everyone, I'm Chelsie Overocker.
and in green.
Happy Sunday, guys. Tami Goveia.
And later on, ladies and gentlemen, we will be even a fuller house,
Yes.
as we will be joined by Sal Stowers, Lamone Archie, and of course, Miss Camila Benos, giving us all the tea on what's going down in their storyline. So make sure you stay tuned to that. If you're watching us live, thank you so much for tuning in. Go tell a friend, tell them to come in, because things are about to get real hot up in here. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. I almost said at Lounging with Tony. Make sure you like
Shameless
us.
plugging.
I know, right? Make sure you like us and follow us on all social media. We are DISHIN Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _ DISHIN Days on Twitter. The @ is implied.
Tony, you're getting some love for your shirt in the
Oh,
chat room.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Where'd you get it?
Where did I get it? Forever 21, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. This wasn't the original shirt I was gonna wear. I realized I spread a little bit, and I was like, ooh, change shirt. So that's why this is open, because I need to breathe.
Hashtag 30s.
Yeah. Well, trust me, late 30s. That's what happens. Also, make sure you show some love to our other soap shows. We have the GH Report for General Hospital and Restless Rap for Young and the Restless. Later on this month, we will have The Bold Breakdown. And every Thursday night, get your dish of soap news on Soap News Weekly, brought to you by our very own Tami Goveia and Chelsie Overocker.
Yeah. Thursdays at 6:15.
Yes.
And that is it for the church news.
I think
I
so.
believe so. Oh, and of course, we still have our mugs from Sweet
Thank you,
Tea
Tony.
Customs. So make sure we look into our Insta. We have info on how you can get yours. A lot of people have asked. Happy Halloween. Post Halloween, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was traveling all day, and
Wait, I saw that you went to Kansas
yes, I went to Wichita, Kansas
for the day.
I
As you do.
I didn't leave the airport. I flew from Burbank to Wichita, dropped off costumes for a friend of mine, and then turned around and came back.
Oh my, you just
And then-
jet setter. See,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
when
Get
the
some good
AfterBuzz
airport-
TV plane.
I know. That's
Yes.
what
We've
we've
been
been talking
pitching
about.
The
that every
RV.
week.
The RV.
No,
The
we're
RV.
going-
No,
we're
they're talking about a
high.
plane
We
now.
want the
They've
plane.
upgraded. They've
ABTV,
elevated to a
yes.
plane.
Listen, let's start with the RV. Let's see how that works. First.
Did you get some good airport food?
I got my favorite cookies, the Biscoff cookies, so I like that. But I had breakfast in Vegas, and then I felt like I was full for the rest of the day. So
That happens when you travel.
It
and
does.
then when you land and you get settled, you're like, damn, I'm hungry.
yeah, and that's what
That
happened.
always happens to me too, yeah.
I went to a Halloween party dressed as a cowboy because that was the quickest thing that I felt like putting on, and then I was like, "Whew, I'm hungry." What did you guys do? Did you guys dress up? Did you go anywhere? Did you trick or treat?
We were here.
Yeah, me
on
and Tami
that-
were
yeah,
here.
we were doing the show.
Yeah, which was
Okay.
fun. We
It
had our
was
little
really fun.
glow-in-the-dark pumpkin.
It was cute.
Our neon pumpkin, so it was
Yeah.
cool.
Love it, love it.
I went down to the boulevard like you do when you're in WeHo
Oh.
because you can't go anywhere
You
else.
can't go anywhere else.
So yeah, my husband dressed as Jennifer Lopez.
I saw
I
that.
didn't see the picture.
He was great.
I'll tweet out the picture.
Please
it's hard
do.
to, but yeah, I'll tweet out and show you my love
High
of my life.
ponytail or no?
High pony.
High
Oh
pony.
my
Full-
God! How did
full
I know?
glam.
Oh my God.
How did I know?
He had an issue. He had an
Wow.
issue with his boobs, but he worked it out.
I'm
Yeah.
sure we all do.
Yeah.
What did you dress up as, Michael?
A granny. I was supposed Dorothy from the Golden Girls, but it just ended up being a granny with no makeup.
I was
Trainee granny.
I was dressed as a cowboy. I was Willie Nelson, Lil Nas X, Brokeback Mountain, and Billy Ray Cyrus from Achy Breaky Heart.
And did you say yes when
To all of them. To all of them. I was like, yep, that's me. Yep. All right. Speaking of Halloween, we had the Halloween episode this week on Days. Thank you for that. But how did we feel about this week's episodes of Days?
I enjoyed it. There were some better moments than others, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Jordan stuff, that it kind of came to a head, and finally they're realizing that I like that they didn't drag it out too long. Once they realized that she's still crazy, like it was.
I had that moment of Rafe. Don't act like you don't know what went down. You know what happened, but he was playing dumb.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of
Yeah,
Chelsea?
no, I thought it was a really good week, especially the Halloween episode. That was my favorite. I think this was one of my favorite Halloween episodes that Days did in a long time.
I laughed out loud on several occasions during that episode.
During that episode?
Yeah. But no, I think each day it was good. It wasn't really boring for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had a couple moments where I kind of fast forwarded, but overall it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I was just I'm intrigued by this Gabby, Lonnie, Eli, pacemaker storyline.
Or Julie.
Yeah.
Like, just kidding. Oh, there it goes again.
Yeah. So
we'll talk about it.
we'll see about that. Everyone's saying how much they like the Sammy and Kate
This is the best
photo.
thing ever.
I love it.
I said that Marche Freeman and Michael Mattis should
recreate it?
Yes,
Okay, but there's a battle of who's going to be Kate and who's going to be...
they both want to be Kate, though.
Yeah. No one wants to be Sammy.
Aw,
I actually want.
I'd be
I
Sammy.
want to be Sammy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Sammy.
Throw on the blonde wig and you're good.
And we're good. Also, shout out to Laura H. Superstar, who tweeted the photo to me. So I saw that. Thank you very much. But then I walked in and it was printed. So thank you, my Highness.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Some of my handiwork there.
Your little handiwork in a frame and everything. I was
I
like,
know, right?
my, what did I do to deserve this? All right, everyone, let's break it all down for you. It's now time to start
Dishin Days.
Ta-da!
All righty, let's kick things off with the first storyline with Eli, Lonnie, Gabby, Julie, and the return of Tamara Price, who was originally played by Marilyn McCoo, who originated the role and came back and did it again. Someone on Twitter, I don't know who it was, but they put the mashup of back in the 80s when Tamara and Deidre Hall saw each other and gave a hug, and then how they did it now. I thought it was the cutest video ever.
Was it like the? I didn't see it. Was it?
Yeah,
pretty much the.
It was
same?
pretty much the same way, except like in reverse. So like Tamara was on the other side, then she was now. But it was still just a warm welcoming that I thought. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people were like, "Who this?" But I thought the casting of I suddenly thought about like Lonnie, and I was like, "Oh wow!" Like I wonder if casting took a look at Marilyn McCoo just to see how she was, to also then like kind of find the correct daughter in case they ever bring her in. And I thought it was like really great casting. Yeah. And I also discovered on the way here, thanks to my chocolate twin James Lott Jr., that Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr., who Billy played the FBI mentor to Eli, sang this song that I was literally just singing the other day. I didn't know that, so thanks James Lott Jr. for letting me know that. I love this song. And yeah, so there's all that. Anyway, how do we think about what do we think about this this storyline and what happened this week?
I just don't like that we have another remote controlled device in someone's body. And it just it gives me an icky feeling that Gabby is threatening to basically kill, like, is blackmailing Lonnie with death, basically. It just, it makes me not like Gabby anymore. You know, I feel like it's too far.
I just don't see this story plot going very far. You know, it's just, Lonnie, you know, if she breaks up with Eli at the altar, you know, is Gabby still going to keep using this over Lonnie?
It's never going to end.
It's never going to end. And I just feel like it's going to be a story on like, oh, okay, what's it going to be now? So something's going to have to change with it a little bit. It's okay. But yeah, it makes me not a Gabby fan right now.
Is it weird that I rationalized it?
Oh, I totally rationalized it because
You
it's
did
so
too?
annoying. I'm trying to think if I was, I think last week I had said, Lonnie, just tell someone.
Well, yeah, the argument.
Tell Kayla
Yeah.
if Gabby goes to turn off the pacemaker, then Kayla is aware and maybe they can create a backup scenario. But then I started rationalizing,
I feel like she's trying to tell people what's happening, but Gabby is always like...
she's always lurking.
Gabby's always like, what'd
she
she
comes
say?
out of an elevator. She comes out from around the corner. It's like,
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. If you look at the history of Gabby, right? She started out as like, the high school senior photo that we saw in the DeMera mansion. And then the whole thing with Nick. But then when she started hitting everything started hitting her and she was innocent and all this kind of stuff, I think this is just how she retaliates when she's not happy.
Right.
And
when she's hurt.
And it's when she's hurt. And it's extreme. So it's really not out of character for her to be
it's
this
just
extreme.
annoying.
But it's also
I concur, Tammy.
But it's also another plan that maybe wasn't fully thought out.
Right.
Do you know
But
what I mean?
here's my thing too, though.
Sorry, I interrupted, but she exactly, she doesn't think before she acts. She just acts. She just acts.
Yeah.
The way she reacted toward Abigail, I could understand. Being sent to prison, now she can't have babies. Like, I could understand.
And Abigail's the victim.
I could understand for a long time, like, okay, I get it. I don't agree with it,
Right.
but I get it. But I don't understand this thing with Lonnie because it wasn't Lonnie's fault.
She's just being irrational thinking. This is irrational.
It's just like
But that was somewhat rational. You could understand
irrationally
that.
rational.
Right. But this is just like, no, there's no reason for you to be doing this except spite. Spite.
I think if Vivian stayed in the picture, she would put more of the blame on her. But since there's no one in that scene besides Lonnie, that's why she's going towards this.
I just want to know how many bodies that little park area can hold. Because there have been more people thrown into graves. Going back to the Halloween.
Yeah,
but
It's like that seems to be the go-to place.
But Kate was thrown into a grave, but she clawed her way out.
she
So
clawed
there's
her way.
there's one open space.
There's one. Hold on. Before we go further, Ryan, can we check to make sure the air is on and working?
I can do that.
I gotta be the sweat's going down. Right.
I'm chocolate and it's starting to melt. So
We don't want that.
we definitely don't want
I
that.
love
Keep that
gooey
refrigerated.
chocolate, though.
Yes,
I'll go
yes.
check right now.
Thank you, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan and the
Ryan.
booth, keeping this wacky show moving right along and cool. So here's oh man, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Man, I just pulled a Mark J.
Eli,
Freeman.
Lonnie, Gabby, Julie.
Yeah.
I did love that scene briefly with Tamara and Abe.
It was
You know,
needed.
bringing up the past.
It was absolutely
It
needed.
Yeah.
was needed. It was, and I'm glad that they had that moment, and she took that moment because she was like, we hadn't seen each other since before Lonnie was born, and Lonnie is now about to get married, and so I appreciated the fact that she did take that moment. And I was also, there were a couple of things I liked about this, but then there was also a couple of things I was like, oh man.
Yeah, me too.
One, the fact that a lot of people that should have been at the wedding were not. I would have loved to have seen
Valerie.
Valerie back. And knowing Valerie's character, she would have told somebody else to do that emergency surgery. I gotta go.
Right.
Because my son is getting married.
Yes.
So she would have been there. So I was
completely out of character for
Yes.
her not to be there.
So
Maybe Vanessa Williams wasn't available and they didn't want to recast. That's what when I was watching it, I was like,
You
it's
always
weird
give
that
the
they wouldn't bring
benefit
her
of the
back for
doubt.
that, but maybe she just wasn't available and they were like,
Well, look, I don't know. We got a new Dr. Shaw, so I mean.
we got new Dr. Shaw and
Exactly.
new Vivian.
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
I mean,
It happens.
But there was that, and then I liked that they gave context to Tamara Price's character, because on the way here, of course, I was talking to James, who's still our historian and still fills me in, on pre-90 stuff, because I was just a tiny tot for Christ, and he said that she was only on the show for a year. And that she was college roommates with Marlena and sung at the wedding. And so they inserted that all in just to give like a backstory, so that it's not, oh, I'm just, Lonnie's mom, but there
Out of
was
the blue.
a whole storyline with her and with Abe. And then, of course, now
There was more
Lonnie's
history there than just being Lonnie's
here.
mom.
Yeah. And so I always appreciate that. So
Was there any explanation as to why Marlena is officiating?
she always officiates.
Yeah, I was going to say she did, obviously, Will and Sonny's. But why Lonnie and Eli's in particular is the question?
Yeah, there was no explanation as to why, but okay.
No.
We're just going with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just go with it. You go with God.
Go with Jeebus.
I would have preferred the Salem stalker officiating the wedding, but that's just me.
That was fun.
Oh gosh. There's so much worry over this wedding because, and I think we all as fans are like, Lonnie, just tell somebody. Gabby's not there. Just tell someone. Just tell someone. But I feel like there's some sort of thought as to why she can't say anything, and I feel like
it's just fear.
It's fear, and it's fear for Julie's life.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because it's not like anything can happen quick enough to where they can. Like there's steps that have to, like either somebody's got to steal Gabby's phone or take the pacemaker out so that she doesn't find out. Oh, you said something. Boom,
Done.
and then
Yeah.
she's dead.
I just remembered the moment that made me go, okay, I can buy this storyline. And that's when Lonnie said to Gabby, we've already lost a child together, and now you're threatening Julie's life. So now I can see, just like dawning room.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now in the moment I can get how she feels like she's cornered.
Yeah.
And right before the wedding, Gabby even called Lonnie over to the hospital to remind her, hey, don't mess this up, because she played fire with her, increasing Julie's heart rate right in front of her. So she just really just wants to be in control with this.
Gabby.
Camila's got some
But that-
explaining to do.
But that text message though, Julie's room now.
Yeah,
Capital.
that's how you know that it's not going to just stop at the wedding.
I was like, excuse you? So and then it ended with the beginning of the wedding, and I have this. Gabby looked like such a millennial with the live stream and
Turning it
around.
yeah.
But I
Gonna
also,
be good.
I like that. I like the attention to detail because when she flipped it around, we still could see her.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was
With the
like,
reels.
oh, someone paid attention to detail on that. And her faces are always like, smile, look at the camera. And it's like, now, bitch.
I know, she gets all serious as soon as she's walking down the aisle.
And
Yeah.
Eli looks so handsome.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had James Lott Jr.'s tuxedo on from
Yes.
last year's Emmys, or was it the year before? I think
Not 2 years ago.
2 years
Not
ago.
last year, but the year
the year
before.
before, yeah.
The year that I told him not to wear red because I was wearing a red coat.
And you didn't.
I know. I wore my red coat. He wore his purple.
Oh.
He still thinks I never mind. That's a whole different thing. So then Friday ended with the start of the wedding. So now we have to watch and see.
For some
what's
reason, when
gonna
I
happen.
watched Friday, it didn't feel like the end was coming that soon. For whatever reason.
The end of.
I thought we would see at least. I thought when I was watching it, I don't know how much time had passed since I started the episode. I don't know. I was like, oh, so now we're gonna see. And then the hourglass came up. I was like, oh, that's the end.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well,
we have to wait till Monday.
That means next week is about to get good.
Yeah. Yes.
It's gonna be good.
And I did like that little moment in the hotel room. Jennifer was there and Maggie was there, and they were giving her the, something old, something borrowed, boo, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was a cute little
Mar-
girl moment.
Marlon Wallace makes a good comment in the chat room. Theo's a hacker. Lonnie should just call her damn brother.
I thought the same thing.
forgot
It's
about
like
Theo
every
and his
show's
hacking.
got a hacker. GHS Spinelli. It's like there's got to be a hacker on days. And-
Theo.
Exactly.
He's healing. He could
In
probably
Africa.
in Africa. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a touching moment too. Sorry, the passing of the old something borrowed.
Yeah,
the
it
new.
was
Hope,
sweet.
Hope was
And
supposed
her
to be
makeup.
there, but
Oh my gosh, she looks so
whose makeup?
Don't you-
Lonnie's.
Lonnie.
It was just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Oh, yeah,
was
she
just
looked
like, oh
flawless.
my gosh.
Oh,
Flawless.
she looked
Hair
beautiful.
and makeup, the
Oh,
little
stunning.
Even when she was in the
flower,
curlers.
Stop it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I like how she went to the
Gorgeous.
hospital in the curlers.
I will say.
I was like, is her hair going to be done when she get... Nope.
Nope.
All right.
She's like, I
She
brought us
hauled
the
ass over
curlers.
there.
But no, Lonnie, I just have to say the last couple of weeks with her emotions, whether she's sad or happy, she's just so drop dead gorgeous.
Her hair's been perfect. Like it's been back with the little
Perfect.
barrette. And like I know, I was noticing it too.
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect.
Like stress looks good on you.
I know. It really does.
All right, so wait until next week.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll see.
Let's move on to.
I don't want them to drag it out though. Like Monday needs to hit.
Yeah,
right?
I think Monday's gonna hit. It's gonna hit hard.
I hope so.
Showing, after watching that preview. All right, so we got Ben, Sierra, Jordan, Rafe, JJ, Haley, and little baby David. Well, Jordan's plan crumbled very quickly. I mean, were we all surprised that everybody figured it out?
Kinda. I was like, oh, they got on this. My thought was, why can't they figure stuff out this quickly all the time? But then we wouldn't have a show to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was once they all figured it out, it was game on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought it might take a little longer. Like, first of all, go towards Ben's direction. But then, no, it's like quickly like, oh, she planted this. Boom, Jordan is back to her evil ways. They figured it out.
Well, it's Mr. Poppin, Will.
Oh,
I know the Poppin.
yeah.
Poppin one.
Poppin in
Poppin.
to help
Mr.
Sierra
Poppins.
figure it all out.
They popped in quite a bit this week.
Yeah,
didn't
they did.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that they didn't drag that out, and I would. It did surprise me when JJ went over to the apartment or to the house, and she conked him
That
over the head.
scared me. I was not expecting that. They
that
got
took
me
me
good.
aback.
But I was also like, is that a purse?
Yeah,
Like,
it was a purse. I thought it was like a
A
tray or something.
laptop. I thought there had been a laptop.
No.
What's
Is that
in
what we're
the
just
purse
gonna?
that's
Okay, is that what we're just gonna assume now when someone bashes someone over the head with a
purse is not gonna
a
knock
purse?
someone out.
No, so we
And
just
it
have to
was
assume there's
bleeding.
something in it. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
purse might knock someone out. There's a
Yeah,
lot
girl,
of
looking
stuff
at
in there.
your bags of life over there, yeah, they could do some damage.
But
She's ready to hop on a plane and be on the lam in case it happens.
But still, I was just kind of like, oh wow, okay, he got knocked out quick.
yeah.
It took 2 blows though. Like it wasn't
Oh,
just
yeah.
one and done. She did
I
it
thought
twice.
it was a laptop.
Yeah.
So maybe I thought it was a tray, but then like I
That
looked at
looked
it, I
like
was
a
like,
purse.
no, that's a purse. That's a
Yeah.
handbag.
Yeah, that was But I'm glad that they figured all that out quickly.
Yeah. I liked the way Galen Gehring played the scene when he's in the hospital bed and he's convincing Jordan to go check on David.
That's
And
when
it's
I knew he was.
like the
he
way
knew.
he was speaking, the way he was. It's like oh, he knows, he figured it out. So kudos to Galen Gehring.
Ryan.
It's still
Oh,
like
boy.
90 degrees
Yeah.
in here.
All right, well, I will double check right now.
Sorry,
Sorry
I was,
about that,
I was
y'all.
waiting
much.
for a good moment to
Apologize.
break, but
Apologies.
We've all lost our train of thought.
I know.
Well, I was thinking of the moment when Will is saying, now, don't open the door, and we're gonna leave. You sure you don't want to come with us to the house? Well, I'm fine.
But we
And
all
then
knew.
she locks the door.
We all knew that
and
setup.
sees a tiara.
We all knew that setup.
Tiara.
We all knew that when she told Ben, "Oh, but I have to open the door for Will and Sonny," we all knew, okay, girl, at some point you're gonna mess up and it's gonna be Jordan. But I'm also kind of like, Jordan is holding baby David. And when you went to close the door, she was still like, I would have said, You know what I mean? And like,
She
and
wanted
like closed
baby
it back.
David. She
Yeah.
didn't want
She did.
Jordan to leave with the baby.
Yeah.
Because at first I was thinking the same way. It's like, just get her. What are you doing? I was like, oh, she wants to try to get baby
Yeah.
David out.
But I was just like, whoo, girl, you have really gone cuckoo. You have really convinced yourself that Ben is the problem and not you.
yeah. Because she's
It's
yeah,
the
not
car
right.
accident
Yeah.
that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, but they mentioned it.
They mentioned
for
it
like
once when she came
20
back. Yeah.
seconds, and then that was it.
And that was it. She got that hit. She got hit on the head, right? She got in the
Some kind of-
accident.
yeah.
And, yeah. I can't think with the heat right now. But, so it all kind of started. We figured out the vial thing. She stuck it in Ben's coat.
Cyanide, man.
I thought for a few moments that Sierra was starting to think that maybe
Ben
I could
did
see
it?
it in her eyes that maybe Ben had something to do with it.
Never,
But
that
quickly,
never crossed my mind.
it never crossed your mind. I thought it was
No.
Well, we knew,
No, but I mean, it never crossed my mind that she doubted Ben.
just the way she was playing it, I thought maybe she had like a question, like she for a moment had a doubt.
No.
But it didn't last long.
No, because right away she confronted him about it, saying, "What's this in your jacket?" It's not like she went behind his back.
I was like, okay, is she gonna believe him? She gonna buy it, and she did.
Oh yeah.
Because they're each other's lobsters.
Yes.
Yeah. I think she knows Ben well enough to know, like, you know, she knows when Ben is off his rocker and when he's on.
Yeah.
And so there's that trust.
I was kind of freaking out when she's showing him the vial and he unscrews it. I was afraid he's like, "What is this?" and start to taste it or something. Because they both smelled him like, "Oh my God, it's too close."
But they were both over there like, what is this? You know,
I don't know what cyanide
So who took
like.
it? Someone took it to the hospital. It was
Ben who took it to the hospital
and gave it to
Haley.
And Haley already knew what Rafe was going through.
It's that easy to get a lab test there.
Well,
Just be like, "Who test this?" Sure.
Yeah. Well,
Just need to put a pair of glasses on to go incognito.
But I also
Salem Memorial.
I also love how Haley came in to deliver news and it was like, "You have to wait for the doctor." Then why are you here? Don't you come in here without this doctor who can give me a full explanation? Don't you come in here as a precursor? You go get the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
But we didn't need the doctor.
No.
So Jordan is on the run, but Baby David is safe. That's where it's kind of
sort of. She's not going anywhere.
She was like, "No one takes my baby away from me."
My baby.
Oh, that's right. She's
my
in the
baby.
park.
She's not going anywhere without her bubba.
Without a baby.
She might team up with Kristen now to get.
Oh, that's right.
David
There was that
back.
scene with Kristen a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Where they kind of met and
Oh, yeah.
realized they had some stuff in common.
I'm thinking, well, Rafe isn't going to help Jordan now, so what is Jordan going to do? The only person that she has now in Salem is Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move right along.
Yep.
Princess Gina, Rolf, John, Marlena. Okay. I still love the character of Princess Gina. I know you don't like her.
She scored points with me this week when she was talking about Marlena. That commoner. And then Rolf was like, "There's no accounting for taste." I was like, okay. Shade, I love it.
But when she was out at the wedding, I wanted to go, "Okay, girl, somebody needs to prep you that, like, while you're Princess Gina, you're still Hope."
Hope would not have dressed that way, and no one blinked an eye.
Well, Xander did. Xander's like, "Wow, you look absolutely fabulous."
But he was also kind of, when she was like, "And who are you?" He was like, "What do you mean, who am I?" And the strangest interactions, and it was the thing that made me laugh was her forgetting that she has to be Hope, and then she'd be like, "Absolute, yes."
Finding that Hope tone.
And I'm like,
there was no.
Girl, you should have did that in the mirror before you left.
I feel like when you just mentioned this, there was no explanation to her that, like, you have to you have to be Hope.
Yeah.
No, Rolf,
Rolf
said that to her.
Finally, but after she had already been out and about.
Yes, when she returned,
and
he's like, "Listen, if you're going to leave the room, you need to be Hope."
Yeah, and I guess so. Hope now has, I guess, all of Princess Gina's memories, but she doesn't now have Hope's memories. Rolf has to do something, and
she said, "Do your thing." Yeah, do your thing.
I did notice, like, okay, so if she doesn't have Hope's memories, how does she know to call Jennifer Cuz?
Cuz, yeah.
There were some things she said, and she told someone, "Oh, you're getting married again." And it's like, well, how if you're not Hope, how do you know that?
Maybe
because
Princess Gina, yeah, she's got.
From the past, didn't Princess Gina portray Hope and Hope played Princess Gina?
Kind of, yeah.
She'll have some memories as Princess Gina.
I was just trying to figure out in this state what she knows.
What's missing?
What memories she has and what she doesn't.
What's missing is what's happened to Hope since Princess Gina's been off the landscape.
Right.
And that's what
But
Rolf is going to.
She doesn't have the memories of the real Princess Gina being locked in that room with the guy, the servant with the limp, and then with Stefano. Mm-hmm. And then she burnt down the turret, is what they called it. Because the real Princess Gina was old and decrepit because she was being held in a castle kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe she doesn't remember that. Or maybe that's just being swept under the rug for now.
I think Princess Gina's remembering everything before she came back, but like, you know, like the new character, like Xander, like she has no idea who he is.
Right.
But she knows Jen because that when she, you know, back in the day,
Yes.
she knows Jen, and then that's when she even questioned, wait, you guys are getting married again? Because
Yes.
beforehand, like back when she was Princess Gina,
They were married.
Jack and Jennifer were already
together,
married.
yeah.
So she's just trying to go based off what she can when she was last there in
Yes,
Salem.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it just shocked me that no one blinked an eye that Hope would not dress. Hope would be in a blazer.
I know. Hope would be
She'd be in a
sensible
pantsuit, yeah,
pantsuit.
with the blazer. Yes.
You know what I thought? I thought John and Marlena were kind of piecing it together when she came over unexpectedly
Did you
because
see-
she was in the neighborhood.
She reacted to the champagne too.
Yeah,
It was the
she-
most.
yeah.
She sipped the champagne and was
Ernie was watching it with me. I'm like, oh my god, she might spit it out like she did at the pub.
she swallowed it, but then she was just like,
The sour look.
she
I
was
like,
so
ugh.
just like,
but
crap again.
she also mentioned something to John like, "Oh, I can't believe you would like have
that champagne.
Yeah. Like someone of your taste and
Why
caliber."
Well, yeah,
is
and then
everyone
they-
obsessed with John?
And they were.
Like really, Kristen, Princess Gina, like John. What's
Is it
John
BDE?
got,
I don't
man?
know what.
BDE.
Maybe.
I don't know. But okay, so then they were convinced that Hope was smoking because they
Yes.
found the cigarette butt. Haley Chen came out of the pub and was like, "Oh yeah, Sierra's mom." They were like, "What?" And she had those cigarettes, and then she gave them to John and Marlena. But they still didn't figure it. They just thought it was stress.
Well,
She started smoking because she was stressed.
And I was like,
And
who
I
would
like-
believe that?
I like the low-key public service announcements
I know,
that,
by,
like, about
by
smoking.
Marlena, but such
Yeah.
a disgusting habit. You know how unhealthy, and Rolf saying that, you know how what an unhealthy.
Even Rolf, yeah.
Like, we
But
know.
here, have some,
like,
have
come
some
on.
champagne.
Exactly. It's like,
Alcohol's another
really?
thing.
Well, Marlena caught on
Cyanide's
to it.
pretty bad too, so I don't know.
Marlena caught on to a little bit when Princess Gina was over at their place because right away Marlena's like, oh good, now that you're staying, I need to go inside your purse. And she's just like, what? And she took the cigarettes from her. And at the wedding too, that's when Marlena was saying, no, John isn't here. And Princess Gina's like,
Seriously?
what?
No? That was hysterical.
Even
and she
Marlena's
thought that
like-
was weird.
Yeah. So Marlena's starting to piece it together. She's starting to keep tabs on her.
I always want, for some reason, I always want John to say like, you know, she's acting like Princess Gina.
It's got to hit.
You know
some
what she
point.
has? You know what Princess Gina has not done yet, which was a staple of Princess Gina. She doesn't have the blonde streak in her hair. Remember back in the day?
In the 90s.
So if she brings that back, that'll be everybody's clue. So maybe she
telltale
won't. Maybe
sign.
she won't do that, so that she keeps everybody in the dark.
Well, right now she's just trying to make sure she doesn't have on her tiara.
Exactly.
when she's
She
around.
keeps in her purse. I will say that Christian Alfonso's hair is shining. It looks so
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
and healthy.
It is gorgeous.
Maybe she's just Pantene.
And then Jack, when he was talking to Hope, Princess Gina, at the wedding,
Just
and just
talking. And talking.
Jennifer and I are getting
Oh,
married.
my God.
And, she has Rolf's flash drive and trying to figure out. And I wanted to go, shut up. You are talking
Exactly.
too much.
Exactly.
And she's
Well, let
like,
him out.
Rolf's flash drive.
I know.
Hope brow for the
And
podcast
then, she
listeners.
kept
that was a
doing
hope
the
brow
eyebrow
by
and
Tony.
then like shaking it off.
I
yeah.
love the eyebrow. I
do
always
too.
wish I could do it. I can't do it.
I think I can.
You
Am I
can.
doing
You
it?
just
Am I
did
doing
it.
or do
You
I
just
think
did
I'm
it.
doing it?
You just did it. I can't do it. I'm
I
always
can't
just
do
like,
it.
that's me.
Got my eye on you, Tami.
Battle of the brows.
And then I love that they're using Haley to clarify
Let's just sum
Yes.
everything up.
scene. Yeah. And then poor Rolf is like, you know, as he talks to the Stefano portrait, I forgot how rogue Princess Gina can be.
You sound like Dracula.
That's how he sounds.
Actually, he sounds exactly like the Dr.
Bela
Rolf. Yeah.
Lugosi or
That's how he is. All right, well, speaking of Dracula, let's talk about this Halloween episode.
yeah.
there
So,
were-
what was the first moment? Was it Andre Tony? Was that the very first scene where everyone
first-
started to go, huh?
The first scene.
Something.
Oh.
What was
Sorry.
the first scene?
Are you asking me or what was the first scene we all knew it wasn't? It was like a dream. What's your
Or what was
question?
the first scene of the show?
That was suspicious. Yeah.
The very first scene of the show was John and Marlena watching the movie.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And then Andre came over with the mask and a knife.
Okay,
And
so
I was like, that's kind of inappropriate, which they reiterated. They were like, remember when Marlena walked around Salem and was stabbing people
Well, I
with a
love
mask
the
on.
possession
He's
reference
like,
too,
yeah.
going back to the movie.
The woman
Like,
possessed by the
that
devil?
doesn't seem very realistic.
And then, they were like,
Wow. Yeah, they were just making fun of that.
there were many cute moments.
Right.
In
So
that
then
episode.
Andre Tony shows up at the door with the mask and the dagger, and when he said, yeah, I guess when he said, "I'm not Tony, I'm Andre," that's when I was confused. Like, I wasn't aware that they were going down this path, and I got confused.
My question throughout that whole episode, I'm like, okay, whose dream is this?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then it was Ben's.
It had to be a dream.
Which made sense. When I looked back, I was like, oh, it makes sense because Ben knows all of it. Because it has to be someone that knows all of the backstory, all of the info, because it has to be in his brain in order for him to be dreaming about it.
Yeah.
But there were so many, like...
That baseball bat to John.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And then Sierra picked it up and was like, I gotta go. And I'm like, why'd you pick up the bat?
Everybody picks up evidence. It's ridiculous.
It's like, what? It's like, leave it there. And then what I liked was at the end was like basically all the bad people and all the killers were all together.
But we have
best part.
Go ahead.
The best part of that was when they're like, it was like, I killed so-and-so and so, and they both realized they had all killed 3, and then it's like, oh, it's a tie. Ben comes around the corner, Marlene's like, speaking of ties. I was like,
the lines
good.
are great.
Yeah.
When Salem stalker Marlena is strangling Will, and Will says, "Why are you so strong?"
I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's turning beet red. Like, ooh.
My husband Mark and I were watching it, and Mark made a comment. She's like, "Babe, I think she's really doing because he
got
turned
so
like red."
Yeah.
That was
Like,
that.
why are you so strong?
Well, for a split second, when Will was confronting Sierra about Ben,
That was weird. And he grabbed the tie.
Grabbed the tie. I thought he was gonna go and strangle her.
I did too.
Yeah.
That was a weird moment.
Yeah.
Well, everyone had something to say about this episode, and it's a fun kind of throwaway episode
But
where
let's talk about Olivia Rose Keegan.
She was funny.
Just
she
seeing
was
her
good.
back.
She was
Yeah.
good.
So good to see her
So
back.
good. My absolute favorite scene though was with her and Maggie in the Kyriakis mansion, and she was like, "I hate your lemon squares."
Who would
and
like
Maggie
those?
slapped her across the face. You told me you lived for my lemon bars. I don't know why. I was dying.
You're so funny.
I was dying. So good.
Yeah, in that moment too, that's what I was thinking. Whose dream is this?
Yeah.
Because that's where she got the needle, and first, out of nowhere, she just stabbed Maggie with the needle, and then she does, "Okay, Victor, it's your turn," and does the same thing.
And then when when Claire slits Haley's throat, and then Jordan stabs JJ.
It's a very
I was
bloody
like,
episode.
"What?"
And the effect when she slit Haley's
That was
throat.
gross. The
I was
blood
like,
on his
"Oh."
hand.
That was pretty.
Like, it was
Yeah.
very vivid.
but also Marlena coming in and being like, oh, well, oh, and in the midst of them, oh, how, like, not classy. And I'm just like, okay, you better point out the fact that they were probably doing it before they ended up dead. That
She
was
said,
that was great.
it looks like there's another serial killer at Salem.
Oh, yeah.
I find that very interesting.
I just like that they all played up the hokiness of
Yeah,
it.
it
Exactly.
was so much fun.
You know,
It must have been.
Unapologetically.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and Jordan with the poison ivy lips.
The
Oh,
objectification
and Rave, how
costume.
he just goes down after she kisses him.
No, that was another favorite, was when they dressed up as a doctor and nurse, and then she put glasses on him and goes, "No one will know who you are."
Exactly.
And I'm just like, girl, you just slapped on glasses. And then she was like, "I would know. I've had several identities myself." And I'm like, oh, can this get any more hokier?
So
So
what
hokier.
was the fan response to the
Everyone was
episode?
like, man.
It was like everything. It was like everything else. Some people liked it. Some people
Yeah,
didn't.
it's just one of those episodes where you watch it and you just, you know, it's like the writers go, okay, how crazy can we get?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
It's probably fun for them too to come up with this stuff.
And I just, sorry, my lips are chapped. I just like the fact that, you know, everyone who has once killed or whatever is, or thought about killing, were the killers. You know, they brought back Marlena as a Salem stalker, and Jordan. We all know she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs trying to kill people. And then she was Claire, and and then Ben with the necktie and all. So it's a fun Happy Halloween kind of episode.
Really good.
Thank you,
It's
Strawberry.
Yeah.
I do like that it's not like entirely separate from the storylines that are going on. It does somewhat serve a purpose because it's kind of like Ben's maybe subconscious fear of him going back to his old ways. Last year it was Marlena was still in a coma and it was her way of.
I was going to ask you. Last year's Halloween was Judith
Chapman
the
was
Angel of
Angelica.
Death, or Angelica.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she played Angelica back in the day. And then Morgan Fairchild came in and left.
Okay.
And I read, just sidebar, that's when they got the idea to bring Judith Chapman on as another character when she came back last year for the Halloween episode
I
as
remember
Angelica.
the cloak last year.
But no, like last year Marlena was in a coma and that episode kind of served its purpose because Marlena realized she needed to come out of it. And she needed to wake up. Yeah. And then, good stuff.
All right, well, that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a small moment to go over some lovely
Christmas news. Christmas news in November.
Christmas news. Wow, we're getting to that time. We're about 50 days out from Christmas.
And this is Chelsea's favorite time of year.
It's my favorite time of year.
Totally.
I even tweeted before coming on the show that we are 7 Sundays away from Christmas.
Oh my living word. That stresses me out.
No, I'm excited. Christmas tree's already going up. It's happening this week. So I'm excited to let you guys know that there is going to be a Christmas Con event happening in New Jersey. And it's the first time ever that they're doing this. It's the first year.
Here we go.
And it's hosted by That's 4 Entertainment. It's on November 8th through the 10th. And we have some celebrity guest appearances, One Tree Hill fans. We have Chad Michael Murray, and All My Children and Mean Girl fans. We have Lacey Sherbear and Jonathan Bennett is going to be there. So fetch.
And we have someone from AfterBuzz attending Christmas
We
Con.
do.
Yes.
Our own Jeff Graham is going to be there. There's going to be many events. There'll be a gingerbread wars and an ugly sweater contest as well. And yes, AfterBuzz is presenting interviews there as well too. So I'm excited. I wish we can go. But
next year.
But in the meantime, be sure to check out our Christmas 24/7 channel. And tonight I'm excited because I am launching the Countdown to Christmas Hallmark channel at 10 p.m. Pacific Coast time. So be sure to check it out.
Woo!
Okay.
And,
yes.
Our former host and chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., has his Christmas show on that channel as well. So make sure you check that out too. And those kinds of announcements has been brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV.
I can see the jolly cheer in your voice, Tony. I can hear it.
Jolly.
What makes me get in the spirit is hearing "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. I haven't heard it yet, so
it's Mariah Carey's favorite time of the year.
Listen,
it's when she can live on this for the rest of her life.
For the rest, she is. Oh, okay. She is. She's about to make bank. All right. Moving on to tidbits.
Okay. Tidbits. Still loving Jack and Jennifer and the whole romance thing.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. When he brought her back to the hotel and had the piece of paper. What was that? Like
the marriage certificate.
The marriage certificate. But
the application for marriage certificate.
She was on her phone because she was still trying to see if they were able to break into the little drive with Dr. Rolf's.
Yeah.
And she's all, frustrated. And then he starts to get all romantic and she tosses the phone and she tosses the purse. Just like, yeah, you know what? You got me. I'm here.
They're cute.
They're very cute.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. They need this time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a tender moment of, Jennifer in bed and waking up and Jack bringing her breakfast in bed. And then, you have to read the Salem Spectator. Yes. And, it was in a bow. She's like, oh, that's a
She's
nice
like, I don't
touch.
have to read it. I wrote it.
Yeah. And then, like,
she just open it.
She opens it, and there's a marriage license, and it was like, oh, that's so cute.
That piece of paper.
Cute.
The props people at Days know, like, that looks like a marriage certificate.
Yeah.
Looked
Even from
official.
afar. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I thought that was a cute moment. But, like, oh, goodness gracious. Then he went blabbing his mouth to Princess Gina, and I was like, oh, girl. You can't. All right. Well, that was Jack and Jen. And then now we have Sarah, Xander, Eric, Nicole, and Maggie.
Who thought of Xander's costume?
Oh my God!
Can we just?
They were like,
please?
how naked but still appropriate for television can we get him? Tarzan.
I loved it.
Yeah,
And Eric is like,
Me,
this
Jane.
is not a treat.
How is anyone able to keep a straight
Like
face?
to swing from his rope.
When Vine.
His vine.
His
sorry.
Vine. I was like, what?
I was like, oh, okay.
Dang.
That got past standards and
Yes, it
practices.
certainly did. And you have to be really confident. You know, Paul Telfer, man, he's got to be super confident to wear that little loincloth.
Oh yeah. Well,
and-
remember when he was here and he was mentioning we got on the subject of Chandler Massey. And he was like, yeah, I looked in the mirror one time and in the reflection I saw some buff guy and I was like, wait a minute, that's my thing.
That's my thing, yeah.
And it was Chandler, because Chandler's all lean and but you can see it in Chandler's face too. He's like really
when that
lean
door
out.
opened, I was laughing out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
When
course.
Sonny,
Yeah.
No, it was Eric. So he's such a sourpuss.
I know. So,
God.
exactly. Like God.
Mr. Sourpuss.
Lighten up.
But I did like their outfits. The
Yeah.
little
The
grease
50s.
outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I like the tender moments between Sarah and Xander. I thought
She
that was
doesn't
cute.
look pregnant.
No, she
looks
doesn't.
like she can fit into that dress still.
Yeah.
That dress was loose. Like, and she was like, I can't zip it up. I'm like,
really
Oh, you
cute.
better suck it up, Buttercup.
I was gonna say, like, suck it in, Buttercup.
We're going to this wedding.
I thought it was cute, and then when he like kissed her ever so slightly on the cheek, I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And then he kind of ran out. I was like, oh, that's such a fifth
so
grader.
cute.
But it was so cute though. I loved it. All right, and that's it.
Yeah.
That was your week of days.
Yeah.
And now it's time for our segments, which means we're getting very close to bringing in our special guest.
Yes.
Yay! So we'll start with my segment, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. All right, now listen. We all know that a face says everything that you need. And all week long, whenever Lonnie had to deal with Gabby, her face consistently said, this bitch. No matter what the situation was, no matter when she was trying to like keep it together so that way she didn't let Eli know anything or anyone else, every time she looked at Gabby this week, it was always with this look of, this bitch. So, for the side-eye queen herself this week, giving us all the facial expressions we need, my 3 Snaps Award goes to Sal Stowers, Lonnie Price, for the side-eye. Yeah. And that gets Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. And now let's get into... Designer Days. I think the air went off. Yep. Sweat. Designer Days.
This week it's going to Melissa Reeves, Missy Reeves. She was wearing this. I love trench coats. I have two. I have a black one and I have the traditional beige trench coat. And I loved this blush pink option. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't find the exactly what line this is, but I just kind of Googled pink trench coats. And I did find one, a Rachel Roy long trench coat. If you just go online, go on the internet and type in blush or pink trench coats, a million options comes up. But this Rachel Roy trench coat in particular, depending on the size, I think we have another photo. Retails from $85 to about $144.
Well, that's cute.
So yeah, it's so cute. You can dress it up, dress it down, and you can wear it all year round. So Miss Missy Reeves, you get this week's
Designer Days. And now it's time for... Caption That.
All right, this week's caption comes courtesy of Marlena and her tin mask from the Halloween episode. And
She looks like a little girl here. She's like,
this week's caption goes to Bizarro Megan Bizarro, on Instagram with her quote, "Masks the new fashion trend brought to you by Gabby Chic for fall 2019. Hashtag Fashion Week Salem.
Now, did you notice in the town square the Gabby Chic store?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sign? I'd never noticed that before.
There was
Yeah.
one time they showed it, and they kind of like showed the sign, and they panned out, and Gabby was coming out of it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, girls going brick and mortar.
Yeah,
How about
so
that?
that was exciting.
Yeah,
And I love
it's-
this picture because you don't see Marlena smile that big very often.
No.
So I like this picture in particular.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was a funny
Tammy
picture.
approved.
Yes, Tammy approved.
I'm really glad that they brought back the whole Salem Stalker thing.
That was fun.
That was a great moment.
That's another good thing
I
about
want
the
it back.
Another good thing about the Halloween episodes is they can reference stuff that happened before in like a joking way, because they mentioned like you said, the possession.
Yes.
And yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
All right.
Great.
Wait, and that was Caption That. And now it's time for
Hey, what? It's like, aww. All right, our all moment of the week goes to Lonnie. Not only did she look gorgeous
Oh my
walking
gosh.
down the aisle, but I love this moment with her bridesmaids. They're in the room and they do something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue.
Although Hope didn't show up with the borrowed. What did she not show up
No, it
with?
was with the something new.
With the
didn't-
something new.
So
Oh, but
what-
she had the new dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
got it.
So what they did with the old was the grandmother's necklace, and then with the new, it was the wedding dress, and of course the new life with Eli.
Yes.
Borrowed is purse Jennifer's Graham's purse, and then something blue was the fabric that Gabby made.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, Lonnie, you get my all moment of the week.
Aww.
Hey, why? It's like aww.
Alrighty. Oh my gosh, this show, it gets me every time. All right. And I will be sure to teat out.
You know,
I don't know what's happened today. Like
it's Ryan.
It's
we
'cause
need-
it's
we
90
need
degrees
air
in here.
again.
Right.
Like,
all,
turned
all
off
day,
again. Yeah.
all day today, I've just been like stuttering over my words. I never do that. Well, whatever.
And
This
I
is-
have hot water in my cup, so that's
Well,
not
that's
good.
probably-
Yeah,
Water.
no, hot coffee too. so it's not helpful.
We'll retweet Me World's Oh Shiz moment of the week.
Yes.
But we told you guys that we will be giving away 2 tickets to our meet and greet that will be happening this Saturday, right after Day of Days. And the winner of a pair of tickets goes to Mr. Michael Huff. Michael Huff, you are the winner of 2 tickets to this Saturday's meet and greet that will happen right here at our AfterBuzz TV studios. You can enjoy light refreshments, also take some photos, do some fun things, meet other fans, meet us, and possibly meet some of your favorite cast members, current and past, of Days of Our Lives.
Congratulations.
So we'll see you on
Congratulations,
Saturday.
Michael Huff.
All right, so we're going to take phone calls and stuff in a second, but we now have live in our studio
Burning
our
up in the
2
corner over
favorite
here.
people who are just as chocolatey as I am and will
They're
be
melting.
very
Yes.
soon. We have Sal Sowers and Lamone Archie.
Welcome, guys.
Back in the studio again.
Yes.
Thanks y'all for coming all the time. We appreciate you. It's always great to
Thank
see
you for
y'all.
having us. Thank you.
Now listen, this storyline
Yeah.
is very interesting. I'm praying that the wedding happens because I'm a little nervous. I thought I was going to see something on Friday, but then
Right.
y'all was just standing there. And then I was like, oh. But then I saw the preview and I'm like, oh.
I haven't seen the preview yet.
Oh.
So I'm in the place of just say something. Tell Taylor.
Right.
Will
Oh.
you just say something?
So that's what I think. That's what a lot of fans are right now. They're like, why won't Lonnie just say what's happening?
Come up with a backup plan.
Right, but I'm like, I know Sal enough to know that she has created a whole
you have to,
story
totally.
as to why she hasn't said anything. So tell us your thoughts.
I mean, first off, I struggled with that personally, being
Yeah.
an actress and having to do the work. It was so hard for me because 1, Lonnie is a detective. 2, the girl is, I mean, she's not gonna let, she's powerful than you all think, you know?
Yeah.
Like she does have a voice, and you know, it sucks, but she wouldn't let someone do that, but she is letting someone do
Yeah.
that. But, you know, after talking with like our producers and really doing the work, it finally came down to Eli and just putting Eli first. And you know, he is the love of her life.
Yeah.
He is everything to her, and she knew that if she allows Gabby to kill Julie. That's going to destroy Eli.
Yeah.
Julie is the one who accepted him into the family. You know, the one who the reason why he's here and created a whole life in Salem. And I think that's kind of where Lonnie is coming from with all of this and why she's choosing to let all of this, you know.
Tami made a point earlier.
I was just gonna say, because I've been struggling.
Yeah, it's
Like, this is not Lonnie. Like, what is it? But then there was a line this week where Lonnie said to Gabby, "We've already lost a child together. He can't lose Julie."
Right.
That made me go, okay.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
But poor Eli don't know nothing. He
I
just
know.
going
He's just
off
looking
and
good
Salem,
in that
just,
beautiful
Yeah.
purple top.
Didn't he look so handsome?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he was all right.
Don't blow his head up anymore.
But what was the reaction as you guys like started this storyline? What was the initial reaction to like the whole pacemaker thing, and now Gabby back in the mix and starting this whole thing between her and Lonnie and all that? What were the initial reactions to it?
Look, it's a soap opera, so
Yeah.
I didn't, grow up watching soap, so I tend to I judge things a lot, and I have to take a step back from Lamone and just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
So initially I was like, what? Like, she gonna be able to control her heart through an app?
That's what Michael's
Like,
issue is.
get out of here.
Same.
It just.
We all were. We all were like, oh, okay. Well, here we go.
Because they did it last year when
With the eye.
Steven
Steve
is
had the
bionic eye,
Yeah.
because Stefan could turn it on and off, and so they're doing it again with Julie's heart, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was a hard
Yeah.
thing to read into.
Yeah.
There were so many moments where I just like, what is this? How do I do this? And that nurse scene with Camila and I talk about that a lot, just because that was so hard for me to do, because it's right there. The phone is right there.
Yeah.
You know, if it's Sal, I'm like, just
Yeah.
just break it.
And just throw it.
And I couldn't do that. I had to force
Yeah.
myself to just do
To
what's
just play it
written.
cool. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know, I can't grab it. I can't bite her. I just have to.
You just have to, yeah.
Can't put my earrings out. I can't.
Yeah.
Lamone,
Can't put the hair up in the bun and be like, where my sneakers at?
Let's do this.
Sal said she had conversations with the producers to help her figure this out. Did you have conversations too, or did you just do your own internal?
I did my own work, but the thing is I didn't really have to deal with anything that Sal was having to deal with, because just like Eli,
You're just in the dark.
I'm in the dark about
Yeah.
it all. So that
That's
really,
on you, girl.
yeah, it wasn't my work.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier for me. But just reading it, I'm like, but there was something that that they had put out that I guess Ron got the idea from
a headline.
Yeah.
Like it's like straight
real
from the
life.
headlines. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, not identical.
Yeah.
But similar. So
I didn't know that.
listen,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some crazy stuff
Yeah.
going on.
So what
there,
the
man.
head about
You can do your Googles.
Crazy
Wait, someone
stuff.
can really control
Someone
a
can
pacemaker?
control the pacemaker.
No.
Let me
It's something
look
like
it up real
that.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm all for technological advances, but maybe that's one step.
a lot.
That's not needed. I don't know.
Listen, there is an app for everything. I showed y'all the app that connects to my scale that I just bought, and it gives
that's
me
right.
the whole
yeah,
thing.
you didn't give me the name of that.
Oh, I
want
will.
it.
Listen, it's the devil. Let me tell you. It might as well just say, "Girl, you too big. Get off me." Like, that's what it is.
Get off.
Yeah, but I feel like fans are kind of like treading with this particular storyline. Me myself personally, I just try to be a fan with open arms and just whatever info is given, I'm just gonna take it. But we rationalized it. We talked about it just a little while ago as far as Gabby and where she is, and that she goes to the extreme of like when she's hurt and when she has lost something, she goes to the extreme. And so now with that Lonnie shot Stefan, which we were all like, ooh, It's
I
like,
know.
But it's an
I was
accident.
Yeah, that was intense.
She was tense. I was like, I turned into Brenda in Scary Movie, like, don't go in there. Like, that's how I felt. Like, no, like, don't dive into it. Like, maybe just, like, duck and, like, move. But he died, and then he got shot in the neck, and I was
so
like,
gross.
so y'all just making sure he really don't come back.
Yep.
He can't get the needle in him like everybody else has.
He doesn't have that spark of life.
Yeah, and
Needle.
it just reunited this whole, like, bumping of the heads between Gabby and Lonnie, and then poor Eli is just kind of
He just
out, just
Ignorance is bliss.
just thankful,
Exactly.
thankful that Julie is
Gabby's
alive.
just sad. She's just what? You know, like he doesn't see anything.
But I did say all this week though, when you had your scenes with Camila, I always felt like your face read this bitch. Like every time she said something or did something, it was like you were trying to keep it together and like not let anyone know what was happening.
Right.
But your face to her was always like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was.
No
I'm
poker
telling
face.
you guys, it was the hardest. These were the hardest scenes for me, just because there was so much that Lonnie is that she's going through, you know, and even like when it's the three of us there, you know, all three of us there, and Eli's right there, and I can't do anything. I can't say anything. She's waving the phone, and I'm just like, oh, what do I do?
God.
You know?
How were the preparations for? Because we were just expecting this lovely wedding to happen between Eli and Lonnie. I mean, we all know weddings in
Yeah, I was
Salem
gonna
don't.
say,
go
You always have to get
Something's
nervous before
always
a
gonna
wedding because you're like,
But we were like, you know, whenever they showed you guys previously, it was always just like, oh, we're on date night, oh, we're at work, and oh, you want some dessert, you know, all that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden, we have all this. But now with the preparation of the actual wedding and like the suit and the dress and all that kind of stuff, how was that for you guys? Or did you guys just walk in and go, this is what you're wearing, and this is how it's going to be? How was it?
I was texting Camila.
It's all right. The preparation for the wedding and what you were gonna wear and look and all of that.
We're actually pretty involved in that stuff, especially Sal. But I mean, we kind of go through the steps. I think we both have an idea of what we want to wear. I know Sal, she has, you know, lots of ideas, and she'll send pictures and things like that, and, you know, she'll go work through with them, and I just kind of match and work off of her.
Yeah.
As you should, right?
So I mean, that's pretty much the basis of it. We just, you know, hope that what comes together is a good look.
Yes.
It was an extraordinary look for both
and
of you.
also, you know, the fans don't get to see Lonnie really dressed up.
Right.
You know, she's a detective, so they don't get to really
yeah.
see. You know, I can't show up
No
to
glam,
work wearing, you know, all glammed
All
up.
glammed
So
up
I
and stuff,
wanted to really soften her up, and really, I just had this like, you know, really wanted it to be kind of romantic, like have that feel.
It reminded me of kind of like if you had a beach wedding.
Yes.
You know, that floral.
The floral.
Yeah.
I was big on that
Barefoot
floral thing.
and
I really wanted that floral
It was
crown.
a beautiful touch.
Yeah.
And I don't even like dressing up. So if you notice, like when I first started, Eli wore a lot of suit jackets and button-ups and things like that. That's not my style. Like I mean, I know I'm different than the character, but I just don't feel comfortable in it. I just like. I can't wear short sleeves because I got tattoos. And I'm not about to sit in a tattoo chair every morning. Cover up. So it's easy just to throw on a sweater. So that's why you see most of what I wear is just sweaters because it's just easy. Hi, I haven't met you.
Hi.
I know.
Nice to meet you.
This is our newest addition.
I know. We went
Chelsie
straight
Overocker.
into it.
Hi. So nice to meet you guys.
Nice to
We're
meet
such
you.
rude hosts.
No,
Oh my
you're-
gosh.
You guys are my power couple, I gotta say. Every time I do an all moment, the fans love it when I have you two together. So I just love watching you guys.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. That means so much. Thank you.
Of course. Well, my question was, there has to be a breaking point between Lonnie and Gabby because Lonnie right now is just going along with it, taking it in. But I haven't seen the promo yet, so I don't know what's happening next week. But if it goes through where she breaks up with Eli, what do you think will be the breaking point for Lonnie to say, you got to stop this?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a good
I
question.
don't know how to answer
That's a good
that.
question.
Can you answer that?
I don't think we can answer
So he
that
gets in
without
trouble.
giving too much away.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know if
a
you can
hard
answer
one.
that
I mean-
without giving too much away. But go ahead, give it a try.
Well, listen,
I was like, no, I don't
I
want
think
to.
there's another app involved.
There's another app. Okay.
I'll say this: judging by the preview
Okay.
that I watched, it goes down, and I think maybe something
You
happens
guys saw
during
my
the
football
wedding
move?
where, like,
Wasn't
yeah,
that preview?
yeah,
Okay.
where Lonnie was like, she didn't say this bitch anymore. She really did say, "Go get my Vaseline and my stuff out of the car." She marched down off the altar, and then there's a tackle, and then they're both on the ground. Now, what moment sparks that? I'm not sure, but I feel like that's the moment where maybe she's had enough
Okay.
of the shenanigans.
I'm watching it this week, and I'm just thinking, when is the breaking point? Because if it was me, I would have chucked that phone, break it already.
If it was me, if it was Sal, this wouldn't even gone there.
Yeah, it doesn't even happen.
Everything. Shoes coming. We're doing this. We're doing this.
We're
Yeah.
And
scrapping.
she's a detective.
Right.
It was so hard.
She's got resources.
Yes.
I might be getting in trouble for saying this, but we'll be dealing with it for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we were talking and we were like, oh, like the wedding's gonna happen. It may wrap up very quickly.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be in it for
I
a
think-
good
So you're
bit.
going to be in the dark for a while longer?
Well, he can't answer that.
I'm done now.
That's all that we
That's
got.
all.
That's all.
Ah.
That's it. We gonna be dealing with this app for quite some time.
Ah.
I just hope that she doesn't keep turning it up and turning it down, because there was a moment where she turned it up again. I
Right.
said, listen,
Yes.
I think you can't do the heart like that. Like
Well,
that's
Stephanie
that's
had a
too
strong
much.
heart.
Let me just tell you, Gabby's evil. Like, who does that to someone?
Yeah.
But I like and we were talking about this with Camila when she was here last time. I like the evolution of Gabby.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
she started off as I just said earlier, like the high school senior photo that she tried to put into the Demare Mansion, and I was like, girl, I need you to get a powerful one. But she started off as this meek and mild like kind of girl, and when she killed Nick Fallon. And had Kate and Sammy rally around her, it was like, all right, I think she's getting like a taste of how to deal with it. And now I think now that she's dealt with that, she's gone to jail, she's like lost stuff and did this.
She's
come,
fertile.
she's come back as like, bitch, I'm not taking this anymore.
Right.
And
right.
I need to be a very powerful, strong woman and get
Yeah.
what I need.
Yeah.
Now that has turned into a very villainous type of a thing, but I feel like it's a great evolution.
I do too.
for
I
her.
think, I've been on the show now, what is it, like 4.5 years, and
Mhm.
watching Camila's, how she's evolved into this character and how
Mhm.
strong she's made Gabby it's a great arc. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful to see. And
Yeah.
I think now she's hit it. She has Gabby down, and she's a villain.
Yeah.
She's a sexy little firecracker villain, and
Yeah.
she's nailing it, and it's really wonderful to watch.
Yeah.
She's killing it.
Yeah. Now we were sad to see that Vanessa Williams, who played Valerie, wasn't at the wedding.
Because that makes no sense.
Well, yeah,
No sense.
Because I said, listen, again, fan with open arms right now.
I think it makes dollars though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the reasoning that was given was that she had emergency surgery, but we were all like, Valerie would be like,
Yeah.
you can cover this, right? I gotta go, see. But we understand like the logistics of it.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
totally miss, that
Right,
opportunity to
landscape.
see
Yeah.
her. But I thought it was great that we got an opportunity to see Marilyn McCoo
Yes.
come back and
Yeah.
reprise her role as
Yeah.
Tamara Price and see your Lonnie's mother finally. And I thought it was spectacular casting because you look at you two and it's like, we see it. And then on the way here, it dawned on me, I didn't know that her and her husband were the singers of the song, You Don't Have to Be... Did y'all know that?
Oh, yeah.
I did my Googles when they left.
You did?
I don't
Yeah.
know the
Yeah.
name of the song.
And I was just singing this song last week.
You were?
Yeah, and had no idea it was them. So I thought that was great to have her be a part of the wedding this
Yeah.
week, and also have that moment with Abe
Yeah.
to just
That
kind
was
of
great.
explain,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
whole-
because you just popped up in Salem, like, hey, daddy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and it's like there was no phone call from Tamara being like, hey, did she get there? Like, no,
nothing.
So that was a great moment. For you, as an actress and someone who obviously originated this role and only had this little tidbit of Lonnie's backstory, what was it like for them to bring on Marilyn McCoo and kind of have that moment with her there?
I mean, I remember reading that script and seeing that she was going to be there, and I was really excited because since I've been on Days, I've been, you have to do the work. You have to have that backstory of your character and, figure all the pieces out. So it was really nice to kind of have that little piece of the puzzle brought in and kind of see how we work together, the chemistry and connection that we have together. But also, I think, as I was saying with Camila and how she's developed Gabby, I finally feel like I really do have a sense of who Lonnie is, as a character in Salem, as who she is to me, and that having Tamara there, Marilyn, it ties it all together for me too. It's like I have her whole little,
it's a nice piece of
her
the
little
puzzle.
story. She's from Miami. These are her parents. That's her man. And so it makes it just a little bit easier when you come to work and you have to go into these these circumstances and play another person. It's not easy. It's not easy. So everything helps.
And I saw that when they announced that she was coming back, she said, and her husband was going to be joining her as well. And I was like, wait, how is this going to work? But then I saw that he was the mentor for Eli.
Which I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten about that.
But I was like, okay.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Well, I mean, he had to have somebody to mentor him to become police commissioner. Somebody got to guide Eli.
Yeah.
So for you, Lamont, how was it working with Billy for that? That was a short scene.
That was a short
Let me tell you, I was
listen,
tripping.
he got more lines than me. So, I'm still waiting on mine.
No, it was really nice working with him. We did have that. Was one or two scenes or whatnot, but it tripped me out because in the scene he's like, oh, I wouldn't miss the wedding for the world, right? But his character wasn't at the wedding. I don't know what happened with that. I mean, it could have been something on there, and I have no idea. But I was like, Paul sitting right here in my face, and Xander, and where is Billy?
Yes.
So. He's in the back row that isn't seen. He's behind the bush. That's
behind
where he
the
is.
bush.
Yeah. But he's cheering you on though.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Shout out to all the melanin that was in the audience.
Yeah. No, that was good.
Hey, there we go.
Here she is.
Come on in, guys.
Hi guys.
Camila just came in. Hi. How are you?
Sorry.
It's okay. Listen, you're here just in time.
Just in time.
Yeah.
We have some issues with Miss Gabby.
Let me know what's going on.
Well, listen,
I'll talk to her for you.
Like I just said, I love the evolution of Gabby. I love that, like we said last time, you're a boss bitch, and I'm here for it. And I'm glad that they're doing this with your character because it only makes sense. We had to, for a second, especially with this storyline, everyone has kind of been like, and we've gotten, we've talked about it here so far, but we rationalize it with the fact that Gabby just goes to the extreme. Whenever she's hurt, and especially when things are taken away from her, she just goes to the extreme. So we got their reaction to the storyline. When they first heard about it. What was your reaction to hear that Gabby was going to be controlling Stefan's heart in Julie through an app?
Well, first of all, thank you for trying to rationalize it. I don't think that's something that should be done on this medium. I don't think so. When I first got this storyline, I honestly just started laughing. I was just like, this is pure comedy. Like, this is hilarious. Like, this is the lady that's hated her guts, literally not made her life impossible, but made just social life impossible. And it's kind of funny. It was like, well, there's kind of karma, I guess. But then, the whole, like, needing a heart and everything. And then when it transitioned to controlling the heart with the app. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but I'm here watching American Horror Story, right?
Yeah.
Can't get crazier than that. I'm watching my show, and I'm like, why are we doing that? What? I want crazier. So for me, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah. Now, there is a point where we're like, girl, be careful with that button because you keep raising it up and
I
raising
know.
it down.
Yeah.
And at some point, like,
I think that's
she's
what the
just gonna
button's
go.
for.
Well, yeah, I know, but like, calm down. like let the heart rest, and then then like rev it up. How is it playing with each other? Because I know that there's great chemistry here among the three of you guys.
Yeah.
What is it like doing those scenes? And side note, where the bloopers at, Lamone? Like, what
happened?
Like we've been waiting for the behind the scenes bloopers.
There was a really good one that he sent me that I was supposed to post last week, but I got a new phone and I lost it.
Oh, really? Well,
It was
good,
the-
because they told me I
Yeah.
can't post
Oh,
them.
you can't post the bloopers anymore?
Yeah, I think the fans. Well, I can't blame it on the fans. I guess it maybe it's us. We don't really communicate a lot with publicity at times, and we take a picture and we're like, oh, it's a good picture, post it.
Post,
yeah.
Not realizing what's going on in the background. Next thing you
Yes.
know, the fans grab that and it's mainstream news.
Yeah.
So.
They inspect those
publicity gets
pictures,
it,
like,
then we end up
every
getting
year.
it. So
Yeah.
I think right now it might be a little shut down on all
On the
that.
bloopers?
So
So
maybe by
I'll
the
say
time,
it then, so that since I
Yeah,
can't post,
yeah.
it was actually a really good one. It was at the funeral, and it was just right after I had said like the little monologue, like thanks all of you for showing up. Thanks for you're here, and I was like all teary eyed, and they were saying like cut or something, but then they stayed on me, and I was like, don't get the booger. Don't get the booger. Because I felt it like creeping down, So I knew it was going to be attractive.
But listen, if the booger showed, we just call that the Viola
It's
Davis
real,
cry.
yeah.
Because listen,
There you
when
go.
Viola Davis cries, there is snot.
everything,
There's
yeah.
everything.
It's
So
real.
like,
There you go.
we just know you're in it.
Yep.
Just like she is. So, girl, let the booger fly. If
It was a scary one.
If there's the
you hear that?
what happened?
Nothing.
You got another one? Give us
Nothing
something.
means something.
Well, since it was started,
Stay tuned.
what had happened?
Stay tuned. Commercial.
Well, we're sad about the bloopers because I actually enjoyed them. My favorite.
Behind the scenes are always fun.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fans love that.
My-
I know he from that same episode. Is that where
I have a
fall
suggestion for
into
the fans after.
To the where Camila pushes me into the.
Oh, that was a good
Into
one.
Oh my
Great.
god! I thought that was a real
Yes.
moment,
And
by
I
the way.
popped my
I
head
loved
up.
it. It's like, oh no! It's
Oh yeah, that was the best. She popped her head up. She's like,
So she put. I thought they stopped filming, and so I just like. Put my head back down.
I have a suggestion for the fans if they do want more BTS stuff.
Yeah.
I just, as much as they harass me about my character, they should harass the Days of Our Lives
Yeah.
Twitter page about it.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy them. Again, my
Yeah.
favorite is still the one when they were all on the hallucinogen. And,
yeah.
and I think, on
That was
Halo.
with us, all
yeah.
of us, right?
And
Yeah.
and I think Marcy came in and Marcy tripped.
Oh yeah.
And then and everyone tried to stay in the scene, but then Lamone was like,
He couldn't get to hide his face.
You guys, he is the worst person.
He can't stop. Oh my god!
He's the worst. He's
That's-
the worst.
that is my favorite.
Worse than Chandler? Because you see him cracking up,
Oh.
like trying so hard
He's
not to
mad
crack
goofy.
up.
He's mad goofy.
I wanna
haven't
smack
noticed
him in
it
the
as
funeral.
much.
He didn't do it this week.
I haven't noticed it as much. I have to pay attention more. That sounds bad.
Sometimes he has like no reason.
A couple people tweeted like, "Why is he smiling?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Must be the serum."
Right? That it's an effect.
I don't know,
It's
girl.
an effect.
Side effect.
Just blame the serum.
Consistently smiling.
There's
Blame it on the serum.
There's an
Can that be
edible
hashtag?
store
Like,
in
blame it
Salem
on the
we don't
serum.
know about.
Donuts or something.
Oh, I pulled a Mark J. Freeman again.
Yeah, you were gonna say.
I was gonna say something and I totally forgot. So we're still here live with Sal, Camila, and Lamone. If you guys have a question, feel free to let us know in the chat, or you can call in. We'll take a few phone calls, and you can call us at 424-354-8302. That's 424-354-8302. Y'all know when you call in, keep it cute, keep it quick, and be nice.
And also, now that we have Camila in studio, I mean, we've been raving about your performances over the past month or so, because it was nonstop. I mean, every single day, you were just a train wreck.
Thanks.
But like booger reel train wreck.
We've all had
Not just
very,
let's put eye drops in your
dramatic.
eyes, you know, for tears. This was like for real. And I think Chelsea and I both said, it was after the funeral. You went back. You went back to your room, and you crawled into bed, and you grabbed his side because as a woman, that's like,
that's what you
right?
do.
That's what you do.
And you grabbed his
You
shirt
go to
and
that
went to
side
bed
of the
with
bed,
that.
and you're just
minute.
like
But wait a
smelling.
Don't just say a woman would do
I know.
that.
I've crawled into bed
as a
quite a few
girl,
times.
Like I feel like I would do that too.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Of course.
Lamone,
And not only for your significant other, I feel like I would do that for my, my dad. Like I have things in him that I just like. I wish I smelled him,
And you put the jacket
Oh,
on.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny moment there so we can break the sadness. There was that moment where I'm like beating the bed.
Yeah.
And like, okay, right before I started hitting, I like headbutt the bed. And I was like, oh, that was this close to be like, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop right here because that looks really awkward. And if you replay it in slow motion,
I'm
it's
gonna
not
do
cute.
that now.
Everyone's gonna do it.
It is not. I'm saying it so that it could happen. I'm not gonna do it, but I want someone to do it.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey guys, it's me.
Me
World. Me World has started his own segment on Twitter called the Old Shiz Moment of the Week.
Which is laugh out loud stuff.
Which
Oh
is
my God.
amazing. He edits it, he puts it together, and all that kind of stuff. So he's great.
No, who got the? No, I thought it was a Lonnie moment, but no, it wasn't.
This week?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
Me World, you're on live. What's your question or comment that you have?
Well, I have a question for Camila, Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, why are you doing this to Julie? she's burying the hatchet like 6 feet under, but you burying it like behind her back. But anyway, Camila, I really love your performance as Gabby. I really love the transition from good girl to evil girl. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. And I will tell you, Me World, I will talk to Gabby and see what I can do about that. But I appreciate that so much, and thank you. It's been a fun transition for me. You know, it's been easy just because a whole lot of crap has been thrown on top of Gabby, so it's been easy to just kind of keep piling it on.
Yeah.
Stay on the train.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thanks, Me World, for calling in, and we're gonna retweet your old shiz moment of the week, so y'all be on the lookout for that.
All right.
All
Take
right.
care, guys.
Thank
Bye.
I have to say, with the death of Stefan, we're already going to miss Stabby because we liked the fact that Gabby and Stefan, grew so close together. I compared it to EJ and Sammy, like their love-hate relationship. Like they were so, I hate you. Yeah, but like, I love you so much. I don't know where these impersonations come from. They just come out of me.
It's funny because I still have never seen Sammy EJ scenes.
No.
So a lot of people bring that up, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I do treasure Allie as an inspiration in my acting and in a lot of things. So I could see how maybe subconsciously that could have happened.
Oh, yeah. I'm here for it. We have another caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Inglewood, California.
Oh, hey, James Lott Jr.
We knew
all the way from Inglewood, California.
But we knew you. That is all the way. I went there last Monday, and I got a stamp on my passport. Going all the way to Inglewood. That was far. I was traveling.
What did you do all the way there?
Well, I did James's podcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I went there. And it was a lovely trip. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
James, how are you? What's your question or comment for our lovely guests live in studio?
Okay, so one comment and one question.
Okay.
To Lamone, I saw that you liked my picture of us in our matching velvet suits.
What? Yeah, I remember that. He was looking snazzy, man.
You look great. I'm like, you look way better than I did. But I mean, that's like they dressed you very correctly for our coloring. Very correctly.
There's James.
Yeah.
Now, my question is actually to Lamone and Sal that, we don't have that many big black weddings on daytime soap.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel that you're getting your due as a couple, but you happen to be black?
Or do you even think that way?
No, we
Or do you
Did
think
you
that
know
way?
that?
we
think that way.
We think
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
I think it's very, we've had a lot of conversations about this, actually. I mean, even going down to, like, when we lost David Abraham, that was a huge thing, too, because, and I could be wrong, but we had that conversation of, like, well, when was there an African-American child, born onto the show? Thinking the last one was maybe Theo, not sure. So we kind of
When is the last African American wedding?
We do ask ourselves these questions, and
I think it was Theo.
I think it was Theo, which that's like 20-something years,
Yeah.
and being an African American woman, I don't take that lightly, like I want to look at TV and see myself on there,
right?
Like.
Mm-hmm.
As for you,
in
and
all
I think,
aspects.
in all aspects, and so I think that's why I do cherish Lonnie and Eli so much, because we do get to represent so many people of color,
yes.
Who tune into Days, and so it does make me very proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, I think ultimately, I mean, during the time that we're here, I mean, we would love to, cover the bases,
Right.
and do any and everything we can, not for, us, but for the culture,
Culture, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to see not just an African American, but all cultures. It's important for everybody who is watching television to see themselves.
Mm-hmm.
To see a realistic
realistic.
depiction
Our
of
world is very colorful,
families,
so
yes.
TV should be very colorful.
But that's why there was a time where the Hernandez family had started growing, and I thought that was great because, just having you and Rafe just, out in Salem without your parents and brother, and it didn't make sense because there were these well-established families in Salem, and then you have these additional characters who family members are missing. So when it started growing, I was like, this is great. When you guys came onto the canvas, I was like, this is great. Yeah. But then it's just kind of this kind of roller coaster of and it wouldn't hurt Salem to build upon these established characters that are there and that are people of color. Yeah. So that's...
No, yeah, you're right. It's really important. That's what I'm saying with all.
Sal, Besa.
Oh,
I'm trying to hide my my hoarse voice, but
I've been trying to do that too because I don't know, my voice is doing something, so I'm playing with pitch here, so that way I'm not in my Tony Braxton range.
Well, speaking of the Hernandez family, really quick, your daddy needs to come out of jail. Like I think it's been long enough. Eduardo needs to come back to Salem.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, before that, thanks James for calling in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, James. I'll call you after the show.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, he does.
Yes.
But I wish Dario would come back.
Yeah.
There just needs to be a presence.
Yeah. Your mom was there. The whole
Maybe
family.
my mom can come and just kick my ass. Smack some sense into it.
Yeah, for something to happen. I believe we have another caller on the line. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mike Riley from New York.
Hi, Mike Riley. Hi, Mike Riley. What's your question or comment?
Well, quickly comment-wise, I just want to say hey to everyone. Camilla, your Instagram is crazy. You are so hot. I mean, you can turn this gay man straight for sure, but then I'm looking at Lamone and
what's happening?
I revert back to you guys.
Wait, who's hot? Who's hot?
Wait.
Those braids are
Oh,
everything.
your braids.
Yes.
Yes,
Love
thank
with
you,
them.
honey. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna have to replay what you just said, Mike Riley,
didn't
because we
hear
all
anything.
missed it. Okay, start from the beginning. Take 2, go. Who's
Oh
hot?
man, I said Camilla's Instagram is so hot it would turn this gay man straight, but then I just
Thank
looked at
you.
Lamone and I reverted back to and,
Reel them back in.
and without great for everything. I'm in love with them. I think they look great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So sexy.
Yeah, Lamone
Okay.
had looked in the camera and you were like, no, brother, come on back.
But my storyline question/comment is actually about the Julie racism story.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Which I was like one of the fans that was really happy that you addressed it, because I too would cringe at some of the stuff that Julie would say, particularly to Gabby with regard to her ethnicity. And I really loved that we didn't have an overtly racist villain in this story. It's that family member that we all have who doesn't behave in a racist way,
Doesn't
believes
think
in
they're
equality,
racist.
but just hasn't been able to get rid of that language that that came from a time gone by, and she hasn't progressed with the changing societal norms. So I'm just curious as to if you could speak on that at all.
Yeah, a lot goes into that. I remember when I first got that script, I called my manager. I didn't actually want to do it. I didn't think it was done right to me. I had talks with producers. I had talks with I had to talk with James. There was things that were taken out because there was a lot of apologies after the fact from Eli, and I didn't feel like with what was going on. Sorry, with what was going on and what Julie was saying, and after the fact, it was a lot of like, oh, I hope I wasn't too hard on her. I hope that she's doing okay. But in the in actuality, it's not really about how she's feeling. It's more about the words that were being said. So there was some stuff that was taken out. But after talking with James, I had a good talk with him, and he just further explained that it needed to be touched on. These are things that needed to be talked about. This is, stuff that also doesn't really get touched on in daytime TV. So I saw the bigger picture of it. Of course, we humans are never happy. There's always going to be some people who are like, oh, that was done great. There's always going to be some people who are like, oh, it was just horrible, still racist, blah, 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 blah. But I think, in the bigger picture, like James was telling me, I think it's great that, Days of Our Lives did touch on that. And like you said, there wasn't really a true villain in it. Each side was able to come to an agreement and move forward. And, we are
Honestly, when that conversation happened, I was shocked. When I was watching it play out, I literally went,
yeah.
Oh my God, they're talking about this.
Yeah. When I going back to when I first read it, and she said that Dr. Martin Luther King, things like that.
We walk in. Because we walk in on that.
Yeah.
And that was very like, whoa.
I was like, I'm not doing this scene. What is this?
Yes. When she said those words, first of all, I was like, I can't believe she's saying that. And then when you walked in, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is going down.
But bigger picture.
It's true. Because it does, like he said, these conversations don't happen on daytime television.
They don't.
Yeah.
So shout out to Days for doing
And
that.
it's almost like the only, I'm sorry, the only real criticism Julie was able to make to Gabby was obviously the Nick thing, but it's always like, oh, you're angry because you're a spicy Latino, you're a hot tamale. It's always some like kind of really disparaging remark that is so like racially tinted, and it's like, as a fan, I felt uncomfortable. So it came out of like left field when you addressed this. Like we weren't expecting it, but I'm so happy that you did it.
And let me just say this real quick. I do know there are people who watch the show, and I think you've touched on it. Everybody's kind of touched on it. That think the characters are us.
Right.
Yeah.
Susan is not Julie.
Right.
You guys I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Just as much as you cringe, that's how she
Right.
feels and talks to me every time she has to tell me, Camila, we have these scenes, or, I cringe when I read them. I cringe when I am in this process. So, but very necessary. And if I was in that position, I'm sure I'd feel the same way. I'd feel extremely uncomfortable, but again, I'm doing something that it must be. I'm sure it's necessary for someone, for some story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Very true. Well, thank you.
Well, I
Mike.
just wanted to call and commend you. So
Thank you, man.
Thanks for
Appreciate
calling
that.
in.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mike.
Mike. We appreciate you. I'll tell Mark you said hi.
Mike's gone.
Thank you. So yeah, that's the other quick thing that we can touch on really quick before we have to wrap things up is that I think fans do forget that you're not the character. And
I think fans think that they have like
a say so.
They have like all of the say so in the world about what their character does, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do like when you Lamone, when you went to the producers and you have these talks, are they receptive? Like, do you think, or is it like where it's like, no, that's what's on the page, you have to?
No, of course they do listen to what we have to say. You know, for sure. I mean, you guys can speak on that. I just spoke on mine, but go ahead. I don't know if you guys have ever had to go to them and say.
Yeah. No. I mean, they do. They're very wonderful with that. I mean, with this storyline in particular, I went to our producers all the time because I had the hardest time trying to understand everything that Lonnie was allowing Gabby to do to her, just coming from a woman and being in the law enforcement, like that was really, really hard for me. So there were so many moments where I was like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
How do I justify this?
Yeah.
And you know, they hear you.
Yeah.
We might not always get what we want from
Yeah.
it, but they do hear us.
And that's important. I
Absolutely,
think that's a great testament to like working together because at the end of the day, you guys have to convey these characters and you guys have to convey these storylines.
You want to come from an authentic place.
Yeah.
So
And
it takes work.
And even we here we've been reviewing the work for almost 5 years now, and like we understand though that you're not Gabby and you're not Eli and you're not Lonnie, but you're putting in the work to convey these characters to us to bring us into this world that has been created, and we can talk about decisions or why this is happening or rationalize why she's doing this or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
I love that. I love that aspect of social media in our world, like online, that there is a safe space for people to even create. Hey, I'm going to make my own Days of Our Life storyline because I don't like what's happening right now. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just not okay with people telling me what to do. Like if I'm the character or, shaming me as if I'm the character. That, like I said, it should be a positive space for all of us.
A safe space.
Yes.
Right.
Safe space. Yes.
Yeah. And you guys do amazing work. I'm always
day in and day out.
Yeah, and I'm always in awe of what you put in. I'll never forget when I was asking you about the whole Halo thing and you not being on drugs or ever taking drugs. Like, what did you do? And you said like I went in a room and it was dark and I just imagined how and I was just like. That's a lot to do to convey that to make sure that we felt what the character was feeling. So fans, as we always remind you guys, be nice, be courteous. Remember,
kindness, please. Practice kindness.
Remember that they're doing a job and they're doing it well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because we all
Here
have
we are,
opinions.
talking about it.
Everybody has one.
Upset about stuff, crying about stuff, worrying about people. Yeah, but you guys do an amazing job. So hopefully
absolutely.
People respectfully say what they may like or dislike, but keep it respectful.
It's gonna be hard. It's the internet is a place where people hide behind the keys and just it's not gonna end. But I'm not gonna end either. It's gonna fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And we deal with it here too. Fans get upset because we don't talk about a certain character or
we got one
didn't
this
talk
week.
about them enough. I saw that this week and
I broke my rule.
You
I
did.
usually I don't
Did
respond.
you engage?
He engaged. I didn't.
I don't know why it got to me.
Not today.
Well, first of all, I don't know if he or she, what they were saying was not true.
Right.
So I felt like
False, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to say something.
Yeah.
And actually, I responded very politely. They responded very politely back, and it ended.
See,
nice.
So
and that's how you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do things very, very politely. It makes me cringe to read what people say about other people. I think the last time I engaged was when we had Eileen Davidson, and someone said something to her, and I replied back, but I ended it with "Stay blessed" with a smiley face. because I wanted to, you know, keep
Sprinkle
it
some
positive.
happiness on
Yes. But also include some Southern shade in there.
Right? I was like, yeah.
while conveying what I needed to do. But you know, at the end of the day, you guys have a job to do, and you guys are doing your job well.
Absolutely.
Loving the storyline, as crazy as it is, and as we don't understand it, you know, as much as we may not understand it, we're still engaged in it.
But you
We're
guys
still
are
talking
making,
about
you
it.
guys in the work you do make it believable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Listen, I went to Google Play to see if there was an app. Trying to see whose heart I can control. But, but I'm not trying to control it in that way. I'm just trying to find a man.
Mike Riley.
I'm gonna work on that love potion number 9.
Because I will be sprinkling it all over West Hollywood. Like, come get this good old chocolate.
We don't need that in West. No. No.
You talking about there's enough?
Yeah.
You might be right on that.
Go to Silver Lake.
You know what though? Never mind. We'll talk about that. Well, thank you guys for
Thank you for
coming.
having us.
We really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
We
Thank you so
cannot
much.
wait to see how this storyline plays out. We know somebody get knocked out next week, so we are ready for the cat fight. And hopefully we'll see you guys at Day of Days, maybe. Yes. So if you guys don't know, Day of Days is happening this Saturday, November 9th at Universal City Walk. Make sure you come. It's a wonderful day. It's a long day, but it's a wonderful day where you get to meet your favorite stars of Days of Our Lives, including these 3 people here.
Yes.
So make sure you say hi to them and tell them you saw them right here on DISHIN Days. Before we head out, Michael Mattes.
Yes.
Let the kind folks know where they can send you polite, positive comments.
You can find me on Twitter at MLMattis1 and on Instagram at MLMattis.
And you can find me on Instagram at Chelsie Overocker. That's Chelsea with an I-E. And on Twitter at Chelsea Overocker.
So cute.
Just wanted to like go
Whoa. You can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia and Insta Tami.Goveia.
And Miss Camila Banos, I know they can find you, but remind the folks
You
where they
can find me on Twitter at Camila Manus or on Instagram at Camila.
Oh, Camila. I love the way you say it.
Just Camila, like Madonna.
Sal, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sal Stowers.
And
And you can find Mo. No, go to Lamone Archie LAMONARCHEY on Twitter and Instagram.
Spell the name out. Can we get a text?
Okay. And you guys can find the show DISHIN Days on Facebook and Instagram. That's DISHIN Days and _DISHIN Days on the Twitter. And you can find Little Old Chocolate Me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. You guys, next week we are taking a break because we have a full weekend ahead, but we will be back in 2 weeks to give you a full dish of what's happening in your favorite city of Salem on AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.